$42 trillion of new wealth has been created since 2020. The top 1% has accumulated over 65% of that $42 trillion. Let me say that again. If you had 100 people and the world created $42,000 of new wealth, one single person at the top would have received $27,000 of that new wealth. The remaining $15,000 would have been divided up by the remaining 99 people, and most likely very unevenly, with the next 10 richest people accumulating most of that. So, do the rich get richer? Yes, absolutely they do. Why? And is it fair? That is exactly what I want to answer in this video. Hello everyone, as always, my name is Derek and I got my degree in finance, so you don't have to. Let's get right into it. Throughout history, it's been proven time and time again that the rich get richer. And there are three main reasons why this happens. One is because of the monetary snowball effect. Two, because you have to understand that money is, in a sense, alive, and it deeply craves and desires something that the rich have. And three is a group of related things: lobbying, tax incentives, and monetary policy. Now, out of these three things that cause the rich to get richer, some are fair and some are not. In fact, some are downright evil. And we will go over each one in this video. So let's go over each one of the three things one by one, and then let's discuss if they are fair to the average person. And the first of those things is what's known as the monetary snowball effect. And this is that money attracts money. At least it should. And that is because money has a time value. And that time value has a monetary value, which we know as return. Now, I am certain that most people do not optimize this. Most people have too much of their cash in non-producing assets, like low-yield savings accounts. And most people walk around with way too much bad debt for their income level. Rich people, on the other hand, usually do not do these things. And we can find evidence of this by looking at their habits. The average millionaire does not drive a new car, and the average millionaire does not carry much credit card debt. And on top of all of this, they do not keep a high percentage of cash in their checkings accounts, instead opting to invest it in stocks, real estate, and bonds. So their money snowballs into something larger than it was the previous year. Now, of course, all of these things are much easier to do when you are wealthy. And on top of that, as the name suggests, it snowballs. So the more money you have, the better. Which is why, even in the most innocent, rudimentary ways that finance works, the rich get richer. Now, the second reason that the rich get richer is because money is alive. What I mean by this is that money naturally has cravings and desires, just like a living creature. And money craves two things above all else, which the rich are very good at providing. And those two things are efficiency and returns. The other day, I did a video on the concept that I call the money flow. And so you can understand what I'm saying. Basically, what the flow of money means is that money flows, just like a river, from the Fed to banks to borrowers to consumers to the market. And during each one of those steps, money is seeking two things above all else, and that is efficiency and returns. And that is because of the definition of finance, which is the movement of money from inefficient places to efficient places. So as money flows, just like a river, just like water, it will avoid and naturally go around obstacles. Obstacles that can slow it down. In other words, make it less efficient. And this flow is what we know as the economic cycle. Now, what can rich people do better than most? They can provide a return, and they can provide efficiency. They are business owners, bankers, world leaders, and founders. People that know how to make money move more efficiently and know how to generate a return. So money naturally flows to them. And because of this exactly, the rich, once again, get richer. So, a system designed and controlled by them benefits them. Who would have thought? Okay, let's talk about the third reason, and then let's talk about the fairness of all these. The third reason the rich get richer is what can most easily be summed up as policy. This means lobbying, this means monetary policy, and this means tax incentives. And again, the rich get richer here because lobbying costs money, so it is usually done by the rich or by corporations owned by the rich. And monetary policy is usually where lobbying goes. So that monetary policy is naturally influenced by rich people to benefit rich people. And on top of all of that, you have tax incentives, which, you guessed it, favor the rich and corporations. Why? Well, because the old theory goes that if you give the rich and corporations tax breaks, that this will in turn create more jobs, because it allows that would-be tax money to instead be used to grow businesses. Does it? Probably. But that is not what we're asking here. We are asking the question, why do the rich get richer? So instead, let's ask that. Do tax incentives, monetary policy, and lobbying make the rich richer? And the answer to that is not probably. It's yes. Before we move on to the next part of this video and talk about the fairness of all this, I want to make it very clear that I am not against capitalism. In fact, quite the opposite. With that said, am I blind? No. Can I see the flaws in the system? Absolutely. So with that out of the way, let's talk about fairness. And I say fairness, not what feels good or what feels like it should be. If you look at it objectively, is it fair? Well, let's go down the list. First, the monetary snowball. This is, in my opinion, probably the most fair out of the three. Everyone has access to most, not all, but most income-producing assets. And nowadays, with REITs, bonds, ETFs, partial ownerships, etc., most people can invest in most things. Now, of course, if I can generate my yearly salary with just my investments alone, I'm going to have it easier. But fairness can probably be equated to equal opportunity. And in that regard, I believe that the snowball effect is mostly fair. Now, the same cannot necessarily be said about the next one, the money flow. The way that this economy is built, money is going to naturally flow to some people over others. Certain careers, certain social circles, certain schools you went to, who you know, will lead to certain people having better or more opportunities to make money than others. And in that regard, the money flow is not fair. But at the same time, there are very rich people participating in this economy who came from nothing and who built their wealth from nothing. So if they can do it, so can you, right? Well, yes, but again, even in this, right place, right time, right set of events, luck, all of those things influence success. And some of the humblest, very wealthy people that I've met do often say that a few changes of events and their life could be completely different. But again, if we're talking purely about fairness, is the lottery fair? For the most part, yes, and that does involve luck and being at the right place at the right time. But we usually consider that mostly fair. So if life is one giant game of chance, and all we can do is our best to put our cards in the right place for the highest chance of success, that still is fair-ish. So is the money flow fair? I think that there are parts of it that are, and there are parts of it that are clearly not. But if you want to be successful and you want it more than you want to breathe, you do stand a fighting chance. And there is nothing on this planet that should stop you from pursuing your goals, even if that playing field is neutral at best and rigged at worst. And talking about rigged, let's talk about the last one. Policies. I think most lobbying, monetary policies, and tax incentives are not fair to the average person. They are influenced by the wealthy, and they benefit the wealthy. Do they spur economic growth? Probably. Do they create jobs? Probably. Are they good for the betterment of society? Probably. But none of that is what we are asking here. We are asking, are they fair? And to that I say, probably not. Look, there's something that I've been saying for quite some time, and I think there is no better place to say it than to wrap up this video, and that is that we are not here to change the game. We are here to get damn good at playing it. And I guess what I mean when I say this is that we are not powerful enough to change the game yet. We are not influential enough to change the game yet. So even if you think the game is unfair, and even if you want to change it, you must first get good at playing it. so that you can beat the game that we call life. Then, when you are at the top, when you are influential, and when people will listen when you talk, then you must remember where you came from, and you must try to make the game more fair for everyone. Basically, be selfish now so you can be selfless later. And train your discipline so when you make it in life, the money won't change you. I hope this video spurred thought, because thought creates action, and action creates change. So create change in your personal journey. Never stop growing in your entrepreneurial journey, and never stop learning in your personal finance journey. Because life will pass by, with or without you on board. Again, my name is Derek, and I got my degree in finance, so you don't have to. And if you like topics like these and personal finance in general, then you are in the right place, because that's all we do here. So feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to turn on the bell notification so you don't miss the next video. I love sharing this stuff with you all. It's been my passion for over a decade, and I will see you in the next one.